Way hey, I'm sailing solo out in the Solent, and it's great. I'll tell you where I'm heading in a minute. The last 2 weeks have been spent in a flurry of activity, lots of cleaning, replacing lines, lubricating everything that moves. Even managed to replace the cushions in the aft cabin with some posh comfy ones. Very important that, because that's where I'll be sleeping. I've got lots of food on board and plenty of time, so I'm heading west, staying in Cowes tonight, and then probably Newtown Creek, and then out into the Channel to visit Poole. I'll do it in easy stages, partly as a respect for my age, but also because solo sailing is fine until you need to moor, so I need to practice that. This is a dedicated pontoon where the local sailing school practice coming alongside and mooring. Spot the difference? There's 6 of them on board and only 1 of me. But anyway, I moored up on this pontoon without drama, and it even looked as if I knew what I was doing. I had a wander down the pontoon to stretch my legs when I came across this seagull who had built a nest on the foredeck of this little boat and had laid an egg, which it was fiercely protecting by making as much noise as possible.
She's very upset because I'm here. You see the egg? Just in the middle of the nest there, that little brown thing.
I left her in peace and retreated back to Zephyr IV for some tea and a run through of the day. So far so good. I'm managing well and feeling more and more comfortable about everything. I'm sure this little trip will prove that I can cruise this boat on my own, even in my late 70s. Tomorrow I head a bit further west along the coast of the Isle of Wight to Newtown Creek. In the distant past I have spent many days in there, and I'm looking forward to seeing it again. Well, we're on our way to Newtown Creek. It's a doomy sort of day and not much wind, but the forecast is for things to improve, so hopefully it will.
Well, here we are in Newtown Creek. It's about 9 o'clock at night. We're on a nice mooring here, and it's very quiet. There's a lot of wind, but there's not a lot of boats. There's 3 way in the distance over there, and these are all my fellow cruising sailors. They're all in a great big long line on the moorings here.
The following day it was bright and sunny, but there was negligible wind, so I motored west towards Hurst Point and the English Channel. You can see the Needles over there. That's the channel for going south. We're going west, so we'll use the North Channel, which is close to the fort.
And then suddenly there was wind, and off we went. This is the coastline from Hurst Castle towards Christchurch. Away in the distance you can see the Old Harry Rocks, the white cliffs. That's pretty much the entrance to Poole Harbour. So that's where we're sort of heading at the moment. Boat's going well, not too much sea, it's really rather pleasant. Still beating to windward, doing a steady 5 knots, 4.8 knots. That's Hengistbury Head, and to the right of it is Christchurch. You can just see the church tower there, just to the right of the big bluff bit. This is Bournemouth over there, Bournemouth Beach, and we're approaching Poole Harbour at the moment. Not quite sure whether we're going to make Poole Bar Bore on this tack. Doing 5 knots at the moment in just over 20 knots of wind. There's Poole down there. We're going up to the channel first. We've got to go to the start of the channel, then go down the deep bit. Boat's racing along at the moment. Just going into Poole Harbour now, in through the long run. There's Bournemouth to the right there. We've got a nice following sea. You can see it coming up behind. Wind over tide sort of causing this in the entrance. Zephyr IV is quite comfortable. We're just gently oscillating up and down. Just got the mainsail up and we're doing 3.5 knots. But fantastic sail. Can't believe that actually made it bang onto the entrance buoys despite the fact being hard on the wind all the way, and there was all those wind shifts, and it just worked out right. Anyway, here we go into Poole Harbour.
Well, we're in Poole Harbour now, the largest natural harbour in Europe. That's Brownsea Island to port, and over there to starboard is Sandbanks, where you will find some of the most expensive houses in the UK, some of which show that lots of money doesn't necessarily bring good taste. I'm heading round Brownsea Island to find a mooring or an anchorage. I've picked up a very muddy mooring buoy and borrowed a mooring for the night. We're in the Witch Channel, which runs to the north of Brownsea Island. You can see the beach over there. I was thinking of anchoring off Pottery Pier round the corner, but I think this is more sheltered from the wind. As you can see, there are lots and lots of boats moored in this channel.
We're at Pottery Pier in Poole Harbour, and dropped the hook about an hour and a half ago in absolute flat conditions, and now we've got a bit of breeze, so just having some lunch and we'll get off back out again.
I've never had one of these before, but Zephyr IV is fitted with an electric anchor winch, so getting the chain and anchor aboard is going to be a doddle.
Well, we've left Poole Bar Buoy, very docile entrance. I thought we were going to get a bit of a pasting, but it was very, very good, and we're now on a broad reach doing close on 6 knots, heading for the Needles. The boat's loping along really quite well, no bother at all, and the anchor came back up again. I put it down and wasn't sure whether the wind should pull it back up again, but it all came back up okay. This is lovely. I can just see the Needles way on the nose. I'm about to be overtaken by this guy. Maybe I should have a spinnaker up. Just coming into the Solent now. There's the Needles and the Isle of Wight. After the turmoil of the channel, we're in the Solent, going dead downwind, wing and wing, with the jib boomed out, doing a steady 4.4 knots in lovely calm conditions by comparison to what we've had for a while. That's Yarmouth over there with the ferry, and we're going to go back to Newtown tonight.
In the end, I sailed right past Newtown Creek and headed for Cowes. The tide was right and the wind too, and I had a yen to visit the Folly Inn, way up the River Medina. It used to be a favourite visiting spot in days gone by, when I used to join Les Windley of Marguerite Tea on a Friday night and entertain the customers with all sorts of shanties and folk songs. There were some riotous nights, I can tell you, and ladies did occasionally dance on the tables. It's a lot more family friendly now, I'm afraid. Again, I managed to get moored up alongside this pontoon without drama, and I took a minute to reflect on the last few days. I'd moored up on strange pontoons, picked up mooring buoys in Newtown and Poole, and also practised anchoring. The sailing had gone well, helped enormously by the autopilot, which is like having a second hand. I felt fit and well, so I was quite happy. Tomorrow I'll head back to Gosport and do a bit more fettling. There's always something that needs attention. This is the second part of my first year of sailing Zephyr IV. There'll be another episode soon, so why not subscribe and click that notification bell. That way you'll get a note to tell you it's been published.